Do you guys remember the CS2 beta? I sure do. I remember people playing it on a daily basis on Twitch and YouTube. And then slowly over time, players got tired of playing Dust 2 and watching the same game over and over and over again. It also didn't help that the same 0.1% of CS players and 50% of Valorant X CS pros were the only ones who got access to the game. But if you're curious like me on why no one's talking about it or playing it, it's because the CS2 limited test build is actually gone. In today's video, I want to discuss where this limited test build went and the full release of CS2 with what we know right now. Now, today's video sponsor is SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a trading site for your CSGO skins. It's one of the easiest and safest ways to swap out your inventory for something new. Extra cash on every trade gets added to your balance. It also has a 30% deposit bonus. And if you use the link in the description or use my code MANDO in two different ways, one which adds 5%, totaling out to 35 for your deposit bonus. And if you're a first-time user, you can get up to a free $5 on your first trade. They also have a freebies tab where you can enter giveaways for free. If interested, it'll be the top of the link in the description below. So believe it or not, the limited test build and this new version of Counter-Strike, which is CS2, got pushed out via a trailer and pretty much broke the internet with the gaming space on the 22nd of March, which was almost 2 months ago, or a little over that. 3 trailers breaking down new features behind the scenes and some brand new gameplay. After years and years of waiting, pretty much since 2016 or 17, our wish was granted. Now, right afterwards, a limited test build for a select few of old CS pros, some new people here and there, even someone like Kukli, where he's actually one of the very few VAC banned professional players who played on LDLC, one of the best stickers in CSGO's history. So the accessibility to this said limited test or beta, which most people thought it was, maybe a pre-alpha if that makes any sense, no one could really play it. And with only one map available being Dust 2, it looked very nice, looked very good, and the new mechanics were interesting. But after a couple weeks, that all gets a little boring and some players want something a little new. Doesn't matter if it's a new game or not. But then all of a sudden, without any huge word from Valve or via update, servers started shutting down. I think a few things made this happen. I think with only pro players and pretty much no one that you knew were able to play it, and the fact that you probably weren't gonna be able to ever play it either, after a couple weeks of you viewing everything and knowing pretty much everything about the game, just like most other things nowadays, the shock factor wears off extremely quickly. They even went as far as to have a Counter-Strike 2 limited test build, FAQ, fact and question, and a whole separate blog post where they didn't even really update much besides some bugs, never told us they were disappearing. Heading on over to Counter-Strike 2's page, where it has the FAQ and the blog posts, not much new has changed or has been added. This, though, still seems to be bugged where it is showing the older skins. For an example, the Sun and Leo, where the skin actually carries over to the scope, where we all know they did change that within the first couple of weeks of CS2's release. Finding the blog post for CS2 is insanely difficult to do, but now it's kind of like nowhere to be seen. If you type in limited test build blog post on Google, this should come up. Besides the news with CSGO going on, you also have the updates here, and I suppose CSGO updates as well as things that get changed in CS2, plus some things we don't even know about in CSGO are actually put in here. So I guess this is a little behind the scenes. And there is nothing really to do with the CS2 limited test build shutting down, not any news with it. So the golden question for every CS player, is there going to be another beta or is it just going to release? Well, surprisingly enough, like we stated earlier, it's already been 2 months since its announcement, which it doesn't really feel like that to most people. They say at the very bottom and in every single one of their trailers that it's going to be coming in the summer of 2023, which really could mean any time for Valve. They could even delay it, which I kind of doubt. As it goes for me personally, I'm thinking of some sort of July release date, possibly late September, but I'm thinking it's July or August. Now, would they do early access so pretty much everyone can get a feel? I'm not 100% sure. The reason I don't really think so is the game is going to be free to play. There's not really an incentive for them to give out somewhat of a free copy before because they don't really need to. You're going to be able to play for free anyway, and there's not really a paywall behind it unless there's some sort of new prime. But the good thing behind it would be is so that we can test the stress levels of these new servers so we don't get any errors like we have the past 10 years. Limited test build, beta, pre-alpha, whatever you want to call it, I think the most likely and realistic situation is we just get the full release of this thing all at once in July or an August release date. I think it's going to be exactly very similar to how we got CS2's announcement and the whole game in general, where it kind of just came in the middle of the day, sometime random halfway through the week. We may know through some blog posts and behind the scenes updates like from Aquarius and Gabe Follower again, but who really knows? This release date means everything to us, the players, but also Valve. This is a pretty big make or break situation for them. I think personally all hands are on deck because if this releases and it's a pretty big disappointment, this will be devastating for everybody, but mainly for the people who've been waiting for this thing for the past decade. That kind of leads us into some closing points. Will it be complete at launch? Now, the only reason I ask this is because I feel like most of us know who play other games besides Counter-Strike, which I don't even really dabble much in, but everyone should know. The Cyberpunk 2077s, Call of Duty, all these AAA games that have billions of dollars soaked into them every single year, they're not complete until 2 years post-release when nobody cares. Now, will this happen with CS2? I don't think so. Valve hasn't really been the worst with new releases, but it's also hard to tell since they haven't released too many new games in the past few years. I'm gonna go off a limb and say no, and even if there is some big problems within the first couple of weeks, I think they will be fixed, and the community, I believe, will stay even if there is some pretty big problem. I just think at the cheating situation, we got through that no problem. Let's hope we can't get any worse than that. So I do think it's gonna release with some problems, but I think we somewhat also need that to happen in order to move forward in the realm of Counter-Strike. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's CSGO commentary. That is my thoughts about CS2's beta essentially disappearing and my thoughts about the full release coming very soon. Catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, stay sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.